I'm Joe Hart, and no, this is not another football podcast. This is Footballers Unfiltered from FIFPRO, the global union for professional footballers, bringing you real and honest conversations from the players, on and off the pitch, straight to you. Across this series, I've spoken to players all across the pitch, but not a fellow goalkeeper. That changes today with Christiane Endler.
Already 5-6 years, I have seen how the position has grown in the women's football and how we are training and how we are performing, and the development has been great too. Not only women's football, but the position of specifically goalkeeper.
Off the pitch, she helped lead the letter that pushed FIFA to improve conditions for the Women's World Cup, proving how powerful players can be when they stand together.
I want to let something for the rest of the people with my career to make it a bit easier for the South American players, most of it. I know we are very behind in the conditions and in the opportunities and in the investment in South America, and it's getting harder and harder to get closer to the rest of the teams, and most of them teams in Europe.
In this episode, we talk about life between the posts, the mentality, the mistakes, and the magic, and why she believes footballers are stronger when they stand together. So in all of our episodes, we always have a FIFPRO representative. Today it's Karen Sendel, who's actually our first current player, and you're one of the leading voices in gender equality when it comes to football. How's that? How are you finding that fight?
It's not about equality. It's about equal opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that every person deserves. Doesn't matter if you're a boy, if you're a girl, and we just want to have the same opportunities.
Can you feel it changing? You can feel that?
Absolutely. I think we've come such a long way with women's football. You know, when I started, it wasn't normal. It wasn't natural for a girl to play. And now we're seeing full stadiums. We're seeing broadcasting rights. We're seeing professionalism. It has definitely come a long way, and still a way to go, but
yeah,
quite amazing.
And so with Christiane, so many of her themes fit the kind of FIFPRO attitude to how we're trying to change things. Why do you think she's such a fascinating character?
Well, you know, she comes from a region where it was completely unacceptable to be a girl and a football player, and to see how far she's come is quite remarkable. And she's now the role model that little girls, you know, little Christiane didn't have growing up. So I'm curious to hear about her journey and learn some lessons.
What are you hoping she shares with us today?
You know, we've done something quite amazing around the World Cup, and she was one of the ones that signed the letter. I'm curious to hear what was that like for her.
Yeah.
But really, the personal journey of a legend.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to it too.
Me too.
And on that note, let's bring Christiane in. Christiane, welcome. Thank you so much for giving us your time. How are you?
Thank you for the invitation. I'm very good, very happy to be here and to talk about football and life, and I'm very excited.
Oh, brilliant. So how is life? How's life over there in France with Lyon?
Actually, life is going very good. I'm very happy to be here in Lyon, feeling like at home already 4 years here, 5 or almost. It's not like being in Chile, but almost.
It's your second home now.
Yes.
I know there's such a powerful team in the women's game. Feel like you've got another big season ahead?
Yes, I'm really excited about this season. I think we started very good. We have a whole new staff, whole new team, new coach, and we are really enjoying it because we are playing good and also we are winning. So far, so good. So
on style of play, Christiane, how would you describe yourself as a goalkeeper?
I am a discreet goalkeeper. I don't like the show. I could play good with the foot. I like the 1v1s, high balls. I think I'm a complete goalkeeper.
I would agree. I've watched her play a few times, also in Champions League finals. She's the kind of goalkeeper that gives you the confidence, and can play with her feet. So
that's what I try to do, give my team the confidence to play as free as possible.
When someone asked me about being a goalkeeper, I said the most important thing was that no one worried about you, right? It was just like Joe's in goal or Christiane's in goal, and then the conversation moved on. I see real power in that position. But that doesn't match up with you being a striker early on in your career.
I started as a striker, but soon I realized that I was a better goalkeeper than a striker. And Well, not so soon, because in Chile we didn't have the chance to play football, women's football. It was very hard to find a place to play. So I played at home with my brother, with my friends, and always I was switching between being a goalkeeper or a forward. But when I arrived to the national team, I arrived as a forward for the under 17. And then I switched to the goalie position.
Wow, that's at a...
So it was a bit late.
Yeah, very late. At what age did you join a team at first?
I think I was 15, 16 when I joined the first time the national team.
And that was the first team, the national team?
Yeah, I went. The first time was the full national team, and after I started in the under 17, we have a South American qualification. But as I said before, we didn't have many players there. We didn't have any clubs or teams where you could play. So I started playing at the school, and they called me from there. So it was a bit different than now.
Were you playing men's football at the time, or were you in a women's specific team?
I was in a women's team, but I played the most with men's, with my friends at the school. Of course, not official games. We couldn't play official games, but I tried to play with them as much as possible.
How did you feel about that? Did you see around the rest of the world had moved forward by that time, but Chile wasn't quite making those steps?
Yeah, I didn't knew that much at that time, because we couldn't see that much women's football around the world to watch. You had to search for a link that was weird. Sometimes you found it, sometimes you don't. So I didn't knew that much about women's football. I didn't knew that I could play professional or be a professional player in the future. I was playing for fun because I really loved football.
Yeah.
And after that, going to the national team, under 17, watching the other teams, like we were host of the under 20 World Cup in Chile. And then I realized, wow, this is different. There is football outside from Chile. Then I realized that I really wanted to do this and start getting serious on being a football player.
Who were your role models when it came to football? Who did you inspire to be? Was it male players or female players?
Yeah, I was most of male players, but at that time, I, of course, was Marta there.
Yeah.
And South America, I had the chance to play many times against her. She was our role model, I think, in America, like in Latin America. Everybody followed her, or after Christiane also. But yeah, the main role models were males, and we watch only men's football.
I think it's a story for a lot of females around the world, because there's a phrase where you say, you can't be what you can't see.
Yep.
And I think this was kind of the case for a lot of us, especially in countries where it's a very macho, male-dominant type of culture. So it can definitely relate.
How does it make you feel now, seeing how young girls can grow up all around the world with those role models, those experiences, those goals, really, when it comes to being a professional footballer? How does that make you feel?
Well, it makes a huge difference. It makes me feel so happy to see all these young women playing football. And now in Chile already, you can see, they want to be football players. They have these role models that we didn't have. And we became some role models, and not because we were looking for it, but because we made it, and we opened a little bit the doors for the rest of the people from South America to be able to come here to Europe to be professional. And now they can do it in an easier way than us, but they can dream about this, and that's the main change.
What was the age where you dreamed and actually believed that you can become a professional football player?
Well, it was very late. As I said before, I was in the under 20 World Cup. I think I was playing with 17 years, the World Cup. And then I realized that
it's possible.
Maybe this is something I could do. And when I left home for the first time, I think I was 8, maybe 20. I said, if I'm doing this, I'm going to do it in the right way. I want to try to be the best goalkeeper of the world. So that's when I started dreaming about this, I think.
We had Lucy Bronze with us recently. And what's going on in the women's game in England is so special. I've got a young daughter, 7 years old, and she would never know what the guys had to go through. And speaking to Lucy, obviously, you know, the girls are European champions now. They're making World Cup finals and they're well-established professionals. But it was very much the same in England up until, I don't know, 10 years ago. The game wasn't really very professional and it was still trying to find its path. So ladies all around the world, you're doing an incredible job making dreams and aspirations, especially like I would say, I've got a young daughter who just presumes that's normal. It's normal that we all go around and we watch the Women's World Cup finals and the Euros. So it's brilliant how far it's moving forward.
Lucy and Christiane and myself, we're part of a generation that couldn't dream the same dreams that boys that sat next to us in class could, right? And we've seen the growth of the women's game and the change, and to have young girls admire and kind of follow, you know, and wait after games just to get her signature and actually be respected, and having it, you know, be broadcast for us. I think we get so emotional whenever we see how much the game has grown, and to hear it from you, you know, as a football legend, it's really heartwarming, and I think this is something that, you know, we look back at and find a lot of satisfaction with how far we've come.
As far as football goes, it's always been accepted for boys, but it's never been cool to be a goalkeeper. Are you making it cool to be a female goalkeeper?
I think we are. When I started being a goalkeeper, a lot of the talk was, oh, they are so bad, the goal is too big for them, or they have not the technique, or whatever. It was a lot of criticism to the goalkeepers. And I think already 5-6 years, I have seen how the position has grown in the women's football, and how we are training and how we are performing, and the development has been great too. Not only women's football, but the position of specifically goalkeeper. It's getting better and better, and that's also part of this change that women's football is creating.
And do you feel like you're getting better and better? Do you still feel like you're at an age where you're learning all the time and feeling more comfortable in your goal?
I try to learn something every day. Experience in our position is key, I think. I feel much more confident and better playing now than 5-6 years ago. Maybe my body is a bit more tired and it's harder to recover, but enjoying this and keep focused and getting better objectives in goalie, because I want to be better.
And do you translate that into your academies, how you teach the girls and boys how much better they can be and how they can keep learning all the time?
That's what we try. We try to give some values. It's only for women. It's right. The only academy for women in Chile.
Wow.
It's not about performing or something to be after professional. It's just to have the chance to play from very young ages, to do what you want, to enjoy the sport, and to develop a little bit also the sport in my country.
That must feel great from a personal point of view, with you struggling to get a game when you were younger, to now making that thing, like I said, I talked about with my daughter, that just being the standard opportunity in Chile especially. Yeah,
it's so nice to see them playing and so young and happy and making friends and knowing other people and not being in the street, maybe doing some other things that are not the best for their lives. I think the first category is under 17, so all the development, all the academy part is not there. So we are trying to put the best chances to them to play football.
Yeah, you're creating opportunities that you didn't have, and that's amazing.
It's not easy either, but we are trying to get more places because Chile is so long and it's so big, and it's hard. Everything is concentrated in the capital, in Santiago, and we are trying to bring football, women's football, to all the regions, and that's the main goal, to expand and get to more places around the country. So getting back to your career, that early move to Chelsea over to Europe, how was that? How did that come about? How did that make you feel? How did that make you develop? Well, first I started in the US. I went to study there with a scholarship and to play. And after 2 years, Emma Hayes approached to me and asked me to come to Chelsea before I finished my studies there, and I didn't doubt about it. I came right away. I was there not so long. I got injured almost at the end of the year, but it was a great experience, my first experience in Europe. I was already 3 years away from home, and I was young, so I missed a little bit. So I went back to Chile after that.
Yeah.
But I think I really grew up after that experience. As you said, 10 years ago, because it was in 2014, I think, 11 years ago, was not so developed in England either.
No.
And then you realize this is not only in South America, this is in Europe too. It's better, of course, but there's a lot to do here. And when I went back to Chile, I realized that I didn't want to finish my Europe career there. I wanted to come back and do it better because I was okay. I did good, but I got injured and I didn't finish the way I wanted.
Just looking at the college football, because I remember growing up and people saying how important soccer was for females in the US. Did you notice that? Did you feel that you were expected to come to England and it be at the same level and it just wasn't?
Yeah, it was a bit like that. College was another world for me. It was amazing. It was huge. All the infrastructure, all the budget they have for women's football is amazing. And after I came to Chelsea and it was a bit different, I didn't feel so comfortable. It was hard to adapt for me. And that's why I decided to go back to Chile. But anyways, they were already much better than in Chile. Maybe the conditions now are the ones that we had in Chelsea 11 years ago.
Yeah.
I also went to college in the US, and for me that was also mind-blowing because, like you said, in the US it's a feminine game.
Yeah.
The guys have American football, baseball, hockey, whatever, but it's gendered too. So they have footballs that are pink in pink shoes.
Right, okay.
But I think, I don't know if it was the same for you, but for me, going to the US, it was the first time I felt respected as an athlete.
Yeah.
And, you know, people coming to our games and posters, and I felt like I was worthy as well as a female and an athlete. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, for me it was amazing to go there and see this world that I didn't knew from before. And as you said, all the girls were waiting for you after the games to sign the shirts and everything. They bought your shirts and they paid to train with you. And I was like, what is this? This is so different.
So it's like an American movie, no?
You felt so important. Also in college, like everyone admires the athletes there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which sport you do. It's like, wow, you are an athlete. That's amazing. And I was amazed for everything there.
So I'm interested from a goalkeeping point of view. I know that obviously not coming into the game and having the coaching probably till a little bit later in your life. When was the first time you had a goalkeeper coach specifically?
It was in the national team and under 17. Yeah, I was 15, 16 years old.
What was that like? Because I remember I didn't really have a goalkeeper coach till I was quite close to being professional. And I just kind of went in goal, right? Just people shooting me and dive around. And I didn't realize there was a real art and like a technical side to it.
I really loved the training. I felt so good doing this. And I did many sports before because, as I told you, we couldn't play football. So I played tennis, I swim. Almost every sport I did it before. So I think everything helped me to be a better goalkeeper too. And when I arrived to this new kind of training, I felt so good. It was amazing for me. It was not so hard. And I thought this is so much funnier than the normal training. Players were running all the time and we were doing fun things. And I really love it from the beginning.
It's funny to me to hear you guys say this because you're like, they're just running, and because we look at you guys and be like, well, they're falling and getting up and falling and getting up, and to us that does not look fun. But
look,
I'm a minority here in the table. I know
people say goalkeepers are crazy, and like,
well, they are. No?
I think that's a bit. I'm going to go with it, Christiane. We're different. We think different.
We're different.
You are. That's why you become coaches.
Solutions that become different. And like I say, I'm exactly the same. I used to look over and think that running looks so tough. Now I've stopped playing. I look at the goalkeeping position slightly different. I think, what a crazy position that is.
It is a crazy position.
I never felt it. At the time, I never felt it. And you obviously won't feel it and you might never change. But it's only now I've come out of the game that I look at it and think that position is wild. It's dangerous. It's very niche. There's a lot can go wrong.
And so much responsibility.
So much responsibility.
You can't mess up.
I know, but it's in our mindset, Christiana, right? Like I always say to people when they say, "Oh, it's a difficult position. I feel sorry for the goalkeeper." That I'm like, don't feel sorry for them ever, because we signed up for that, right? That's part of the buzz. That's part of being the number one, the person who's responsible for their teammates. I almost think that we think differently in all situations.
You do. And I think that's the reason why a lot of you become coaches and technical directors, because I think you see the game differently, you think differently. You're directing all of us, and we need you. If I was a coach, I would start from having a good goalkeeper, because it gives 50% of the confidence that the team needs.
Obviously, being from South America, but your English is great. How do you find communication moving around all these different continents and countries?
At the beginning, it was very hard for me to communicate. I had to learn it. I'm a bit shy and I don't talk that much. And you have to stand up in the field and have this kind of leadership that the team needs. Well, after I played in Spain, it was easy. It was not so hard. But here in France, I have teammates from all over the world. In the pitch, I speak Spanish, French, English, Portuguese also. Like I try to speak to each one in their languages, because some of them don't speak French, some of them don't speak English. So it's kind of like a mess, but I think I develop it very good, and I feel very confident right now doing it.
Yeah, and I think, as Karen said, when you have that aura, which I don't know you personally, but it's what you give off, very safe. Sometimes you don't need language. It's a body language. They know exactly where you're going to be on the field, how you communicate. You have to work out what people's strengths are and how you can help them, and the danger signs and the warnings. So I've experienced that myself. I played in Italy. As English people, we're terrible with languages, terrible, because we're so lucky, because there's always a way to have a conversation in some sort of English. But to be in a dressing room where I didn't speak anything, also, it surprised me and made me laugh how 10 minutes later I could still have banter with someone or conversation without actually saying anything. So you say you went back to Chile after the Chelsea move, and then you quickly realised that you wanted to be back in Europe. How did you go about making that move?
Well, actually, it was a bit like my agent told me, you should go out and you should not play in Chile. You have all the talent, all the resources to play outside. I'm going to see what can I found for you, and please be open to go back to Europe and try it again. And they called me from Valencia in Spain, and they asked me, just come here, see how we train, see the city. If you like it, you can stay, and we will propose something. But they invite me to visit first. And when I arrived there, I love it. I love the people and the city, the food and everything. And I signed the contract right away and I said, I'm staying. I didn't say anything to my family either. Like, I'm just staying here.
I was going to say, how do your family feel about it? Because that's such a huge move. Maybe they didn't know enough.
Or maybe they didn't want her to play.
Yeah, maybe they didn't know enough about the women's game. Maybe they wouldn't realise the professionalism that you were walking into with it not being as evident back in Chile. How were they with you?
Yeah, for them, I think it was a bit hard at the beginning. They support me when I had to finish school, like doing I don't know how they call you, but free exams, not going to school. Yeah. And they support me in that, but they didn't like it when I said, like, I'm not finishing college, I'm going to play pro in England. They were not happy with that. They support me too, but I have been always a person that if I have something in my mind, I do it. I don't ask, I just go. And now they have seen all my career and everything I have achieved, and they are very proud and they support me and everything. But at the beginning, I know that was hard for them.
I think it's they let you go to college because then you can have a degree, right? And then at least, okay, yes, well, that's what you got out of football. At least you're going to have your first degree. And then if you stop 2 years after, then you're kind of bursting the bubble that they've had hope. But I think staying true to your heart, to your dreams is the key to success, and obviously you've done that amazingly. So I'm happy that you listen to yourself.
Yeah, I always take the decisions about my feelings and I go for it.
Ah, but you're brave still.
Yeah, and then we talk about success. So voted FIFPRO World 11 3 times in a row. How did that make you feel, getting those sort of accolades and that recognition for your talent throughout the world?
Well, it's amazing, more than any other prize, like individual prize you can get, because it's your peers that are voting for you.
Yeah.
And coming from Chile, a place where football is not developed, starting so late and maybe not achieving many great things with the national team, it's hard to be voted for that and to get this recognition, even if I cannot play final of the World Cup or European Championship. It's very hard, I think. And I'm very happy and honored with those recognitions. It's very important for me.
I'm just interested on your thoughts on the recent winner of the FIFPRO goalkeeper, Hannah Hampton. Obviously had a fantastic Euros, playing really, really well domestically. What are your thoughts on her as a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I think she has been having a very good season. Last season was great for her. Achieved many things with the national team and with the Chelsea also. I think she has a lot of talent and she could stay on the game also many, many years. So I really like the way she plays. It's a complete goalkeeper, I think, also.
I was so impressed with her. The way that she has quietish games, but she's got the big moment in her. She's absolutely got the big moment in her. And I think that's that little bit of stardust that I'm sure you sprinkle on your team. She's definitely got that with the England national team. So I'm really excited to see how she develops. But you've not only used your qualities and your success for personal gain. You know, you're very active in how you want the game to go from there. How do you feel your importance in the game of football is?
I think it's very good to achieve things individually, but I also know that I had the opportunities, but they came to me also. And outside the game, for the future, that's why I have these academies at home, and I'm very active, trying to change a little bit the conditions. Most of the time in my country, but also in the rest of the world. It's important that we work together to improve the game.
Yeah, well, I think that goes hand in hand with what I'm about to talk about. You're one of the 150 to sign the FIFA letter for the World Cup to improve conditions. Why was that so important to you?
Well, because I want to let something for the rest of the people with my career to make it a bit easier for the South American players. I know we are very behind in the conditions and in the opportunities and in the investment in South America, and it's getting harder and harder to get closer to the rest of the teams, and most of them teams in Europe at least. And that's why in the World Cups and all the important competitions we are not there yet, and people recognizing what we are trying to do, it's also nice. It means that you are working in a right way.
I'm curious to ask, when the opportunity came to sign the letter, did you have any fear, or did you know, I'm going for this is the right thing to do?
No, not fear. I knew that we had to do it. We wanted to work all together as a big force and change things. And I think we made it. It was
big time.
I don't know if it happens anytime so many people go together and try to change things.
No, I completely agree. I think it's the international collective action that is historic in many ways. And I think that what you guys have done as captains of the national team and what that has accomplished eventually, it has made history, and there's not been anything similar to that or like that. So you've really shown the strength of solidarity and standing up shoulder to shoulder and changing reality. So it's definitely big, definitely historic.
No, but collectively so much stronger, and it's really powerful and right. It's absolutely right what you guys are doing. So everything that you've achieved on and off the field, but still at a very relative young age of 34, what more is out there for you? What are your goals and ambitions for the rest of your career and further on from there?
I want to keep playing and being competitive. At the moment, I don't feel I had it anymore. I think I will step out and try to finish in a good way my career. But right now, I'm really enjoying it. I'm still in the game. I can compete, and I'm feeling good and great physically and mentally to be at the best as I can. And after that, I'm preparing myself also for the after career. I have been studying some masters in sporting direction, and I want to be involved in football and in sport, and maybe not in the field. I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but in being close to the team and this kind of work of sport direction, I really like it.
Yeah, I think that's such a great idea to do that, because if you tell someone that you're doing that but you still want to play football, the maths don't add up to some people. They think you're trying to check out, but I can see that physically, mentally, you're still very much a player who wants to stand on the world stage. But it's absolutely imperative that you always plan for the future, because I can speak from experience. I finished playing football at 37, which feels old in football, but it's not. In the real world, it's not old. There's so much more life to live. And
what's it been like for you? Maybe it should give her an advice. What's life after football, and how you managed to do the transition?
Well, I've loved it because I really felt like I was at a moment in my career and in my football where I was ready to finish. And it wasn't because it made me feel, I didn't feel like I didn't want to do it anymore, but I just knew that I'd done everything that I possibly could. And if I were going to do it anymore, it would just be for the sake of it. And then I just started to realise that I'm sure you are starting to realise, and Karen, I'm sure you realise, intelligent people in the game of football, there's so many opportunities out there, especially the mark that you've made on the international stage. The opportunities are endless with what you've created in your time as footballers. So you're going to have loads of fun. Enjoy the football as long as you do. Enjoy diving around and making saves, but there's a good life waiting for you, I promise.
Yeah, I know. And more in the women's football, that I think we really need more women involved in the development and in the positions that are taking decisions. And I think we can do much more in that way. And this generation should be there after and trying to still be involved in the game in another way.
Yeah, the game needs you, definitely, even after you retire.
Yeah, we need more women in the different positions, coaches, managers. It's so important.
To end all of our podcasts, we've got a little quickfire round that I absolutely love to do. And I'm going to start with the first question, which is, when a goal goes in, how does that make you feel and how do you deal with it?
It depends how the goal goes in, but I try to not make it go in my head. I don't know if it happens to you, but I feel sometimes ashamed when I concede a goal, and that's very bad. But I think I'm very good letting go in the game and being able to be good after that. And after the game comes all the mental punishment.
I totally understand where you're coming from, because in the game, the goal's gone in, good goal, bad goal, no problem, next one. People think, wow, you're bulletproof. But that night, or those following 2-3 days when you analytically break down what happened, a few punches in the face happen, and then you breathe and you move on.
Do you think you guys take it harder than us, field players?
Yeah, it's personal.
Yeah, for sure. It's personal, yeah.
And it's not anyone else. It's because I and you know what you're capable of. So when one beats you that you know you're capable of saving, that's the frustration. But it happens.
Also that we can share responsibility and say, she could have done this before, and you guys, I think, are in the only position that you take full responsibility.
You have to. To be a goalkeeper, you have to be someone who takes responsibility, for sure. Yeah. Okay, second question. What is your proudest moment on the pitch, and what is your proudest moment off the pitch?
I think proudest moment on the pitch, it depends if it's national team. When we sing the anthem, I feel so proud and being able to represent my team, and also making a good save. It's also very, I think you feel like you score a goal.
Yeah. And
after, I don't know, being able to help the team in some way and feeling confident and proud, and after the games it's more than anything, I think.
No, I agree. And third question, one that I love to ask. What do you love most about being a professional footballer?
Being able to live the life I want to live and doing what I love every day and enjoying not the results, enjoying the road. It's the most important for me. And right now I can say I'm very happy with my life, with what I do, with my family and what I have achieved, and makes me proud.
Well, you should be.
Definitely.
Well, Christiane, thank you very much for your time. You've been an incredible guest. I'm sure you're going to inspire a lot of people. So keep up the great work.
Thank you for the invitation.
Well, Karen, that was a fascinating conversation. What did you take from it?
Just amazed, you know, to hear the journey of such an amazing, talented goalkeeper. I've gotten to see her, you know, play on the field, but so humble, right? And just to see how she's grown has been quite amazing.
We need more people like that in the game.
Absolutely.
How's that going to help your role, having people like Christiane?
Well, the women's game in general needs more women like her, but I think football in general, really, you know, and we want to see it change. We want to see players getting the rights that they deserve to get, and that's what we try to do in FIFPRO at the end of the day. You know, look out for the players, taking care of their rights, and you know, when you have somebody like her next to you, you're for sure going to win the battle. Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for your time. You've been an absolutely great guest.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you again.
Me too.
And that brings us to the end of this episode and the end of Season 2 of Footballers Unfiltered, brought to you by FIFPRO. It's been another brilliant series of real honest conversations with players opening up about the highs and the challenges and the realities of life in football today. A huge thank you to all of our guests and to everyone who's listened, followed and shared the series along the way. Footballers Unfiltered is recorded at Spotify Studios and is available on all podcast platforms. And for the full, up-close and personal experience, you can watch every episode on Spotify. I'm Joe Hart. This has been Footballers Unfiltered. Thanks for being part of it, and we'll see you soon.